Art is the driving force of every major time in history. In our modern day, this holds especially true. People continue to be moved by past and current trends that contribute to our world. The new idea is that the present has been put on a path propelled by prospects of the future. In the modern day perspective on art, we have become a society constantly looking for the next most popular thing. This new trend of instantaneous sharing and receiving has united different forms of art and given birth to new ones that affect its creators and critics in all different ways. These are the stories of three artists from different areas of expertise whose work has shaped their world and who they are as individuals.
I've really always been interested in art, even from a really early age, always interested in drawing, and really got into photography when I was in high school. And the person who got me interested in it was my high school photography teacher, Mr. Yule, who was really interested in kind of pushing me and getting me to do more than I thought I really could do. And I think that's the mark of a really great teacher, is someone who wants to kind of, sees the potential and wants to push you in the right direction, so that, your success is kind of a shared success. And I think that, because of Mr. Yule, that's one of the reasons why I'm a teacher, why I'm a photo teacher. And he was just really an inspiration for me. I think I can't really speak for all of art, but in terms of, the evolution of art or major points in photography, I can say the interesting thing, I think, is when everything kind of switched over to being digital. I know for me, trading in all my old film equipment and buying my first digital camera was a huge deal. There's so many different, not only so many different ways of creating art now, but also so many different ways to consume it, to receive it. So, a photo that I take now can be posted online, it could be downloaded, it could be, sent around the world, and everyone can, have their little comment about it, which I think is pretty cool. I think the worst thing about a piece of artwork is that, not that you love it or that you hate it, but that you're indifferent and you don't care about it. We're exposed to a lot of images all the time, and I think that whether we know it or not, a lot of those are art, and kind of having a filter to filter those images out, and actually the time to appreciate what is art as opposed to what is kind of some digital noise that we may see. That becomes a whole separate question, separate issue. So what I try to do with my students is find something that I can share with them that hopefully provides a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration, and kind of pushes them to do something more than what is necessarily maybe the easy thing to do in terms of any project or work that we're doing in class. I think the thing that really amazes me about my students and the art that they produce is that, coming into any class, I expect students to produce, a certain level, and time again, I'm blown away by the fact that they, may start a little bit lower than my expectations, but they end up going way above and beyond anything that I would ever expect students to do. We have some very, very talented students at Shawnee High School, and I'm blown away by their creativity and also by their passion. Their students are pretty passionate about their work, and it's very personal for them. I'm putting the time and effort into this, and they deserve to be recognized for it. I'm a photographer, but I also teach photography, and it's kind of come full circle with what I experienced in high school with that, my teacher, Mr. Yule, who was person that I really respected and got me interested in photography. Now I hope I can be like that for other high school students.
Music is just really good at, enhancing or calming certain emotions depending on what you're listening to and when you're listening to and what's going on in your life. But I mean, a lot of people say, that music definitely helps them get through things, whether it's taking your mind off of something or whether it's reminding you of something else. I mean, I know that I have certain songs where I can listen to it and it will remind me of a time in my past when I used to listen to that song a lot. I do think that everyone has the capacity to appreciate music and that everyone already does appreciate music. I don't think it's the kind of thing that you can really learn. I mean, everyone listens to different kinds of music and everyone takes different things away from it. Even just listening to a song and saying, oh, I like that part, that's appreciating music. You don't have to write an entire thesis on it to say that you understand it or can appreciate it. It's just one of those kinds of things. In the band I play in, which is called Stealing Skies, I can definitely say that being in the band has brought me much closer to the guys who are in it. There's 5 of us. We've been a band officially since the summer of 2011. We knew nothing about what we were doing or how to write music in general. And, definitely over the, what has now been close to 2 years, and since we've added the other guys, band practice is just one of those things we can't live without. And it's not even just we're practicing the whole time. I mean, we try to have a practice, every week, but a lot of times we end up just jamming for hours, and then, we will write new material, we'll work on it, but then at the same time, we're just hanging out and listening to music, and we just do so much listening to music as a band, so that, we together can get ideas of what we like, what we don't like, and then at the same time, use that in our stuff, and then more so than just being a band, we just hang out all the time. We will go to just get ice cream and God knows what, I don't know. Music is definitely one of the most universal things on this planet, as is art in general, at least in my opinion. And that wherever you go in the world, there will be music of some different kind. And there are, so many different kinds of music that are, native to certain areas where I would have never heard that before in my life. And, I wouldn't understand it, and I wouldn't get what they were doing exactly or how they were doing it or what it meant. But, I would be able to see that it meant a lot to them and that it's something that is a part of them, as is, here in the US. But, here we have so many different kinds of music in such a commercial way that, it gets forced into these genres. You have metal and you have pop and rap and rock and country and all these things. But I mean, no matter what, you're gonna find other people in the world who like the same music that you do. And it's really a beautiful connection when you can do that. When you can find someone who's, wearing a band t-shirt and be, oh, hey, I love them. So do I. And bam, best friends.
Well, art has definitely affected my life in a huge way. It's really just what I do. It's my sense of identity. It's allowed me to see the world differently and see things that I think maybe other people don't notice or look over. Just subtle differences in colors, the way the light bounces off things that aren't necessarily important, but I kind of get pleasure out of knowing. I wouldn't really say I have a specialty. I like doing two-dimensional stuff, a lot of drawing. I haven't gotten a chance to try everything, which is why I would say that I don't have a specialty, because I don't know, something could be out there I don't know about yet. But for right now, I think my strong point is drawing and two-dimensional work. Art is really important to me because it's a sense of identity. It's something that I'm confident in. It makes me feel good about myself, and it's a really important tool in expressing yourself. And I think that's another thing that a lot of artists will say that's important. It can be used as a tool for communication. It's just very useful and important, and I think that everyone should be at least a little bit educated about it. I think everyone is affected by art, whether they know it or not. There's art literally everywhere. Anything you could look at was probably looked over by an artist to see its aesthetic value. There's advertising. There's almost a science to things that catch people's eyes. Architecture, interior design, fashion, all of that is art, so I think everyone is affected by it. Artists, when they're making art, a lot of the times take things like events in the world and just inspiration from the world, obviously, whether it's in like social culture or just ideas, things. The world does influence art making a lot, and also art making. One of the reasons people make art is to express ideas to the world. So it definitely goes both ways. It's a two-way relationship.
In conclusion, art has proven itself a universal topic with all people on Earth affected by its deep, interconnecting messages which appeal to our human nature and desire to create and appreciate. This connection is apparent to all people because it comes in many different forms, including music, photography, and drawing, in all its abstract differentiations. Although the role of art as an effective influence in our world has changed in terms of its mediums, it still remains certain that people will continue to be drawn to its beauty and aesthetic value.